this evening. First, the government is conducting a comprehensive review of the procurement system at all levels. Vice President Dr. Jagdeo addresses ongoing concerns and allegations of corruption, promising strict consequences for violators. Stay tuned for more on the government's push for transparency and accountability. Next, tragedy strikes as a devastating fire leaves 9 individuals without shelter in Orboys Town. We'll bring you the details of the blaze and the ongoing investigation by the fire officials. Stay with us for updates on this heartbreaking incident. In a significant breakthrough, police have arrested 2 suspects in connection with the fatal shooting of taxi driver Eon Holder 3 months ago. Find out how this development could bring justice to the Holder's family. You won't want to miss this story. Also tonight, 28 families in Linden receive vouchers worth $225,000 each to help build their homes. Learn how this initiative is supporting homeowners and boosting regional suppliers. Stay tuned for more on this uplifting news. And finally, authorities in Mexico launched an investigation into a tragic stage collapse at a campaign rally that killed 9 people, including a child. We'll have the latest on this developing story. All this and more coming up on tonight's broadcast. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for May 24th, 2024. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, the government is conducting a comprehensive review of the procurement system at all levels of government. Vice President Dr. Jagdeo made this announcement in response to ongoing concerns and allegations of corruption within government operations. Dr. Jagdeo addressed the issue, emphasizing the government's commitment to transparency and accountability in its operations during one of his weekly press conferences on Thursday at Freedom House.
Let me put on notice all of those people who are responsible for procurement in public corporations, statutory bodies, the ministries, regions, central ministry, everywhere, all the way up to the National Tender Board, that we're examining the procurement procedures for compliance and also activities for compliance with the laws.
Dr. Jagdeo warned of strict consequences for those found violating procurement laws.
If we find that those officers are skirting the provisions of the law, the procurement law, then there shall be consequences for them. Because too often we hear here, I sit at Freedom House here, I hear people come and they complain that in some part of this country, remote part of this country, somebody is doing something. People win a bid and then they try, after the bid has been awarded, they try to change specs on the bid.
The Vice President also highlighted issues concerning payment delays for completed work. He slammed some accounting officers for causing unnecessary delays in processing payments, which forced contractors to make several visits to receive their due compensation.
Another issue is payment. People who have done their work and fully submitted their bills and the bills have been certified. Some of the accounting officers in the ministries and the clerks, they keep the processing of the payment to people for days on their desk. People have to run there 10 times. They've completed the work. You have to run 10, 15 times to get money for work that they already did. Sometimes they have bank loans. They have other issues to deal with because they've expended money. And they have to run there to these little czars who are processing paper. It could be a clerk, one clerk, who's just holding up a payment because they didn't process the paper on time or send it forward. And then ultimately, sometimes they want money to expedite it. when the people should really be receiving their payment. Let me put on notice those people too.
The Vice President warned that the government would conduct sting operations to catch offenders. He added that if people are engaged in these processes and get caught, they will face the consequences. Turning our focus to a devastating fire that tore through a two-story wooden building on All Boys Street in All Boys Town, Georgetown on Thursday afternoon, leaving 9 individuals without shelter. The blaze, which reportedly ignited around 3 p.m., rapidly consumed the structure, leaving little behind. According to an elderly occupant of the house, who was asleep when the fire broke out, the flames originated in the upper flat of the building before quickly spreading downstairs. Despite the swift escalation of the fire, all occupants managed to evacuate safely. However, the homeowner expressed deep sadness over losing his 2 pet rabbits, which he could not rescue amid the chaos. Fire service officials have launched an investigation to determine the cause of the blaze as the affected residents. Fire service officials have launched an investigation to determine the cause of the blaze as the affected residents grapple with the aftermath of the destructive incident. Meanwhile, the Guyana Fire Service continues to issue precautionary warnings to the public, urging vigilance and proactive measures to prevent fire incidents. This recent incident is a stark reminder of fire's destructive potential and the importance of fire safety practices such as smoke detectors and fire extinguishers. In other news, police in Regional Division 4A are investigating a disturbing incident involving 32-year-old taxi driver Edmund Moses, who was set ablaze at his home on Newmarket Street, South Comminsburg, Georgetown, around 7:30 p.m. on Wednesday, May 22nd. Moses was lit afire by 26-year-old Melissa David, a resident of the same address. According to reports, Moses was at home when he realized his wallet, which contained $18,000, had gone missing. After raising an alarm, David, the mother of his child, who resides in a separate apartment at the same address, returned the wallet to him without the cash. When Moses confronted her about the missing money, an argument ensued. David then allegedly approached Moses on the veranda of his apartment and threw a liquid substance at him before igniting him with a lighter. Moses was rushed to the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation with fire injuries to his body and right hand. His condition is listed as serious, and he has been admitted to the critical care unit. Meanwhile, David has been taken into custody to assist with the investigation. The police are conducting inquiries to determine the circumstances surrounding the alleged attack on Moses. Stick around where we return. Linden families receive steel and cement vouchers to build homes, and 2 arrested in connection to taxi driver's murder in Georgetown.
Experience more than award-winning speed.
Way more.
Get the best that LTE has to offer on Digicel, officially the fastest mobile network in Guyana. Ookla, the company behind Speedtest, recognizes Digicel as the best mobile network in Guyana. With the best LTE experience and the fastest data speeds, experience it all with Digicel, the award-winning network for everyone, everywhere.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all of these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, five spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, dark seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick peas powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radical went to the supermarket and she proper buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. He shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Our smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Middle Street, Georgetown, telephone 226-1082.
Welcome back. 3 months after a fatal shooting of 41-year-old taxi driver Eon Holder of Alexander Street, Georgetown, 2 suspects have been arrested. The suspects, whose names were not given, aged 30 and 50, are residents of Queen Street, Cumminsburg. Holder from North Rijnveld, Georgetown, was killed around 5:30 a.m. on February 24, 2024, in front of the Guyana Marketing Corporation. According to police, Holder was shot by 2 men, one armed with a handgun. At the time of the incident, Holder was working for a taxi service and was hired by a 50-year-old businessman to go to Border Market. The businessman exited the car at Alexander Street to purchase vegetables, leaving Holder to find a parking spot. Moments later, the businessman heard a loud explosion and saw Holder lying in a pool of blood about 15 feet from his car. Witnesses reported that Holder had parked his car in the middle of the street, blocking traffic. This reportedly angered one of the suspects, who then shot Holder in the face. Emergency medical technicians were called to the scene, but Holder was pronounced dead at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation. The suspects fled the scene immediately after the shooting. The arrest marks a significant development in the case, under investigation since the incident. On a different note, 28 families in Linden Region 10 have received vouchers worth $250,000 each to help them build their homes. This initiative, a part of a steel and cement subsidy, injects $6.3 million into the local economy. The vouchers were distributed by the Chief Executive Officer of the Central Housing and Planning Authority, Sherwin Greaves, during an outreach at the Watuka Guest House. The subsidy provides steel and cement for home builders constructing homes costing $6 million or less, and additional cement for those spending up to $25 million. The recipients expressed gratitude, with many citing financial constraints as a barrier to homeownership. The initiative aims to boost the local economy by requiring voucher holders to purchase materials from regional suppliers. Last year, 97 such vouchers were issued in Linden, further supporting the community. Don't go away after the break. Mexico's stage collapse, 9 people killed at election campaign rally, and Caribbean forecasters predict hyperactive hurricane season.
Not a single bar of service.
Not with us. Digicel officially has the best mobile coverage in Guyana. Ookla, the company behind Speedtest, recognizes Digicel as the network with the best mobile coverage in Guyana. Be it in Aishalton or in Etteringban, we got you covered.
Digicel, the award-winning network for everyone, everywhere.
Welcome to Fortune Investment Company, your #1 eco-friendly cleaning and janitorial company in Guyana. At Fortune Investment Company, we specialize in commercial and residential cleaning. Whether it's your home or office, our experienced team is detail-focused and take pride in providing excellent services to make your spaces sparkle. Restaurants and kitchen cleaning? Aren't you tired of hearing your chef complain? Keep your culinary spaces spotless and hygienic with our dedicated maintenance services. Floor scrubbing and polishing? Elevate the look of your home or business. Give your floors a new lease on life with our professional scrubbing and polishing. But that's not all. We also offer power washing and steam cleaning. Say goodbye to dirt and moss. Our power washing services will leave your surfaces looking brand new. Revitalize your carpets, mattresses, and chairs with our thorough steam cleaning services. When you want someone to clean your space with care and without the unhealthy chemicals, you want Fortune Investment Company. Call us now at 646-0405 or 689-7558 or 639-6365 or visit us at 3430 Jacksonville Housing Scheme, North Rumville to schedule your cleaning and janitorial services. Visit our business pages at Fortune Investment Company to learn more about our services and promotion. Fortune Investment Company, where cleanliness meets perfection, because a clean space is a happy space. And remember, we do the dirty works while you stay clean.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Cheaply with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton, and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Regional forecasters predict a hyperactive 2024 Atlantic hurricane season with up to 29 named storms, including 13 hurricanes and 7 major hurricanes. The Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology highlighted similarities to previous active years like 2010 and 2020. A 66% chance exists for at least one major hurricane tracking through the Caribbean. Early season activities may be influenced by Saharan dust, potentially delaying but not diminishing storm impacts. Forecasters urge preparedness, noting potential for extreme heat and flooding. The rainy season is expected to bring above normal rainfall and high flash flood risk in several Caribbean regions. Authorities in Mexico have opened an investigation into safety protocols at a campaign rally after a stage collapse, killing 9 people. A child is among the dead and at least 50 were injured. Al Jazeera's Felix Nuwara reports.
Screams drowned out by gusts of wind in the Mexican city of San Pedro Garza Garcia. A stage collapsed at a campaign rally, scattering politicians and supporters. The citizens' movement had brought in party heavyweights, including presidential candidate Jorge Alvarez Maínez.
It was a very atypical event because normally the weather gives us some warning as it intensifies. What we experienced happened in just a few seconds. A gale came, a sudden wind, and unfortunately, it collapsed the stage, resulting in a fatal accident.
Maínez had been delivering a speech to garner support ahead of national elections in early June when the concert-style structure collapsed. He was not injured, however, and returned to the site to speak to supporters after the incident. Forecasters had earlier warned of heavy rain and possible tornadoes in the northeastern state of Nuevo León.
I trust that the mayor and the governor, who are responsible, will investigate whether these protections were exhaustive, and I believe there should be absolute transparency in this regard.
Authorities have opened an investigation into safety precautions. Dozens of people are receiving treatment at nearby hospitals, and the Citizens Movement Party has suspended upcoming campaign events. Felix Nyawara, Al Jazeera.
The presidents of the US and Kenya have declared their commitment to help bring stability to Haiti, which had been rocked by months of gang violence. Kenya has agreed to send 1,000 police officers there to help restore order. Al Jazeera's White House correspondent, Kimberly Hackett, reports.
Welcoming Kenya's President William Ruto on the South Lawn of the White House, marking, since 2008, the first official state visit of an African leader. To mark the occasion, Biden announced he'd be making the symbolic designation of Kenya as a non-NATO ally.
Virtually no challenge, I think, that Kenya and the United States can't meet together.
For years, Kenya and the United States have collaborated on security challenges in Africa and beyond. But now Kenya is sending 1,000 police officers to act as peacekeepers in Haiti, a move that's unpopular with some Kenyan lawmakers and human rights activists who are more concerned about their own problems at home. But President Ruto's still pressing ahead, backed by more than $300 million in U.S. financing.
To break the back of the gangs and the criminals that have visited untold suffering in that country.
Biden faced his own challenge at Thursday's joint press conference, dodging a reporter's question about whether there was any evidence Israel is intentionally starving Palestinians in Gaza. Biden gave a stock White House answer about why his administration doesn't support the International Criminal Court's investigation of Israel.
We've made our position clear on the ICC. We don't recognize the jurisdiction of ICC the way it's being exercised, and it's that simple.
Kenya's debt to GDP ratio is 70%, with the majority owed to China. So the two leaders are calling on developed nations to cut financing terms to help Kenya and other developing African nations thrive. China is Africa's largest two-way trading partner, and Biden wants to change that. In December 2022, he hosted the U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit, promising to visit the continent the following year. But Joe Biden never visited Africa in 2023, and with the U.S. election now 6 months away, a trip in 2024 is unlikely. Hanging over President Ruto's visit is that broken promise. But Joe Biden says he'll visit Africa in February, after he's reelected. Kimberly Helkett, Al Jazeera, the White House.
A Republican-controlled U.S. Congressional Committee held the latest in a series of hearings and campus protests in solidarity with Gaza. From the outset, it was evident the hearing would focus on accusations rather than fact-finding. Meanwhile, UCLA saw renewed protests, highlighting ongoing campus tensions nationwide. Al Jazeera's Rob Reynolds reports.
It was clear from the very beginning that the hearing would be about hurling accusations rather than finding facts.
All of your universities have been hotbeds of pervasive anti-Semitism.
No matter how hard the college presidents tried to explain their actions in dealing with campus protests, Republicans cut them off, not even waiting for responses to their own questions.
Jewish and Israeli students were not consulted.
Jewish and Israeli students were not consulted with
Exactly.
respect to
Yield
the
back.
agreement.
Exactly.
And it would
Yield
have been
back.
impractical to do that.
It's striking that you decided to negotiate a sweetheart deal with pro-Hamas students.
University presidents displayed patience, but some neared their limits under the verbal barrage.
I really am offended by you telling me what my views are.
Republicans repeatedly demanded the universities immediately expel protesting students and fire faculty members who support them, despite explanations that disciplinary investigations were underway. Democrats say the hearing was only about scoring political points with right-wing voters.
Continuing to schedule repetitive politicized hearings to attack college presidents will not solve the scourge of anti-Semitism.
The subject of Gaza and the more than 35,000 people there killed by Israeli military forces was barely mentioned.
My colleagues are outraged over these protests, but they are silent about what the students are actually protesting about.
Hundreds of students around the country have been arrested for predominantly peaceful campus protests. The biggest outbreak of violence on campus came when hundreds of pro-Israel agitators violently attacked the UCLA Gaza Solidarity encampment for several hours as police stood idly by. Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar demanded answers from UCLA's chancellor.
Why have the violent agitators, who you know have been identified, not been held accountable for assaulting over 150 of your students? You should be ashamed.
While UCLA Chancellor Gene Block was testifying, a group of UCLA students set up a new protest encampment on campus. They held a rally and a sit-in. Police removed the encampment. It's part of the new day-to-day reality for college students, faculty, and administrators all across the country. Rob Reynolds, Al Jazeera, Los Angeles.
This brings us to the end of the regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's Safe TV2 Headline News for this Friday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. We will be off for the weekend, but you can tune in on Tuesday at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.